I work with the Turner India office in the marketing division. Today we warmly welcome you all to the 10-year celebration of Turner India and Turner International International New Hire Conference. We are excited on completion of 10 years operation in India. Starting our operations with Hiranandani Township project in Chennai in 2007. We have spread ourselves to Delhi NCR, Mumbai, Gujarat, Hyderabad and Bangalore. With 200 staff strength, we are well positioned to provide comprehensive project management, construction, management and program management services. We warmly welcome new hires into Turner both from India, Malaysia, Thailand and Turkey. As a company built on strong core values of teamwork, integrity and commitment, we offer excellent career opportunities for our staff and are looking forward to your stint. I would like to ask Mr. Jairam Panch to come on the stage and say a few words with us.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, respected clients. It's a great honor to have the entire team here. We're a 10-year-old baby, really small, still looking forward to your encouragement and support so that we can make another 10 years and another 100 years in international. We're extremely thankful to our esteemed clients who made this happen to us. Let me take some names of esteemed clients who are here. Mr. Tom Shimen, Chief Projects Officer of Weil. Thank you so much for coming here. Mr. Satish Shadri from Weil again. Thank you so much for coming over. Mr. Vivek Kohli from Delhi Flow Mills, Delhi. Thank you so much for coming. We're extremely thankful to the leadership team that's here, starting from Mr. Abrar Sharif, President CEO of Turner International. Mr. Steve Ford, Senior Vice President, Turner Corporation and member of Executive Leadership, and Martin Foos, SVP and member of Executive Leadership Team. Michael Doring, Regional Director, Southeast Asia. Matt Mace, Country Head, Malaysia. And we have the entire other leadership, my team, and all my valued new hires, employees, and everybody. Thank you so much. We are here because of you. We are able to celebrate this. We are able to make a mark in the country. When we started this journey in 2007, we were thinking how much can we grow in the country? What's the potential that's ahead of us? We are going to be much, much larger company in international, and your contribution will be really appreciated. Thank you so much.
As per traditional Indian custom, it's auspicious to start the event by lighting the lamp, symbolizing transitions from darkness to light. I now invite Mr. Abrar Sharif, President and CEO of Turner International, Mr. Michael Doring, Mr. Matt Meeks, Satya, and Ms. Lakshmi Rajagopal. Please come.
As a company, Turner is built on the core values of teamwork, integrity, and commitment.
What's truly unique about Turner India is our people. Not only do we recruit the best and brightest from the most esteemed universities in India, we also look at very high-level experienced staff, whether it be an experienced new hire or people that are coming in from other locations to help assist our project.
The average age in our company at this point of time is in the range of around 32. Which makes us a great vibrant and a young lot with lot more to come. Working in 7 major sectors such as residential, commercial, retail, iconic, hospitality, aviation, and foreign military sales. Over the last 10 years, apart from developers like Piramal, Hiranandani, DLF, we've also been extremely fortunate to work on iconic projects like the Statue of Unity for the Government of India, a 182-meter tall statue for Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel coming up in Gujarat. Indian National War Memorial coming up just behind India Gate. And a great airport expansion, Kempegowda International Airport and Bangalore. We have grown one vertical called as Turner Technical Services, which provides in-house billing information modeling and destination services for our esteemed clients, both in the United States, internationally, as well as in India.
To implement the latest practices, whether it's from a BIM or from an estimation perspective, the way in which we engage with our clients and with the contractors. I think about with the expertise that the team brings from a scheduling perspective, takes an engaged approach to look for ways in which we can improve the construction process. We can help to optimize whether it's the schedule or review of, from a constructability perspective, from a scheduling perspective, and using different technologies.
The ultimate goal of our lean journey is to influence our stakeholders to ensure that they get the best possible practices in place within their own organization. And we do that through simple things of implementing Last Planner system to show them the value of thinking ahead, thinking smart, thinking lean, and be able to incorporate a lot of the fundamentals of what we do on a day-to-day basis into their daily practices. There's nothing more exciting for us to see one of our contractors or a client take up their own lean journey and be a part of a bigger process.
So firstly, I would like to say that the management of scheduling function or the planning and scheduling function, it is not the same for all the projects.
Turner India is all about one family. It's about a family coming together, working towards the deliverables. Importantly, the client expectations, focusing on quality, timelines, and most importantly, it's all about living as per the names, living as per the expectations of the Turner brand.
To provide SAP technical support services to Turner headquarters and international. We are very cost-effective and innovative approach on solving the problems. Working with business development team to expand business in South India. Overall in Turner, feel like you're part of a great team that works to grow around the country.
Turner India has earned its recognition by undertaking large, complex projects, fostering innovations, and embracing emerging technologies, and has thus made its impact on the lives of community.
We in Turner strongly believe in making a difference with more than 115 years US experience, with more than 50 years of international experience. Turner is poised to grow in India as well as in the region.
We just need to approve the budget, we need to get it done. I did it in less than 10 minutes, and after that they were up, and then we had 2 iterations, and that's what we saw. So I think amazing what they've done. So it also gives me a good idea to launch another vertical in India. That's it.
I now invite Ms. Kalpita Chari, Mr. Sanjeev Pandey, Mr. Yash Saraiya, and Mr. Ritesh Sarore to come over and cut the 10-year celebration cake. Please come on, guys.
Thank you.
10 amazing years of Turner International India, and now
when we started, the first time I came to India was to visit Joran was in 2009. We were about 8 people getting ready to start the Hidden Garden project in Chennai. We've come such a long way, such a long way. It's incredible everything they've achieved. A big round of applause for all of you. And especially Joran, who's been there from day one. He willed his way, he worked relentlessly to get us where we are. Nice job, Joran. It's important we don't forget who we are and where we come from. It's important we stay connected to the communities. That video said it all. Make sure we take the time to have an impact on the communities that we work in. Make sure we work collaboratively with our construction industry partners, the consultants, the architects, the contractors. Work collaboratively. Make sure we deliver on our promises to our client. That's what's going to sustain us, in addition to working in the communities that we are actively engaged in. Don't hesitate to stand up and do the right thing. We are known for our core values of who we are, our teamwork, our integrity, a commitment to each other, a commitment to our clients, commitment to the marketplace where we work in. So when we brought all of you in here, it was amazing when I see new faces. 6 months back, we did this in KL. We had a whole new group. Today, I see we have a whole new group. And there are a lot of new faces who I haven't met before. So this is really, really exciting. We talk about 200 people. I see us in the next 5 years being a 1,000-person group here in India and constantly growing from there. Once you all understand who we are, our culture, make sure you bring your friends, your associates you work with to be part of this journey as we grow this company. Growing India has been a challenge. When I say that, I'm from India. So when I first took over as the CEO, I thought this is going to be a cakewalk. It's a different challenge. It comes with its own challenges. There were a lot of days where we second-guessed ourselves, are we on the right track? It was a young group that came to us about 3 years back, and they actually sat down with Joran and myself at 7 in the evening and had us actually refocus on what we need to do. That's when we decided we're going to look into the aviation sector. Otherwise, we were purely focused on the residential and commercial. We knew we had a strength back in the US, so we started getting into the aviation sector, and thank you to our clients at VIAL. We really appreciate the opportunity. We will make sure we deliver a world-class project to all of you. I also want to thank our clients from DFM, Piramal, and others who are here. It means a lot that you all have taken the time to come down to meet us. I'd also like to thank Lakshmi, Shivani, and Shekhar's team for taking the time to put this thing together. I really appreciate all the hard work you all have put in to make this event a success. Thank you so much.
All players, both speakers there. Cake before dinner, that's my kind of celebration. I'm humbled to be here, to be part of the 10-year celebration of our presence in India, to see what you all have done in India. I have a great privilege, if you will, as a member of the LT, to be able to visit a lot of the projects that we do. An industry leader and truly an international company. Thank you.
Let me reiterate the congratulations to Turner in India on 10 years, and also reiterate Abrar's thank you to our clients that have come out to celebrate. The last thing we ended our training session on our day was relationships, and the importance of those relationships, and your being here to help us celebrate the 10-year anniversary is evidence of that. And so, again, to reiterate Abrar's thank you, I pass along the same thank you. The other thing I want to say is I want to thank the team in India for their hospitality in the couple of days that we've had the opportunity to be here. It's been fantastic. It's my first time here, and you all have made all of us feel very welcome. The last thing I'll say, some of you weren't in the training session this afternoon, but as Matt said, one of the great advantages that Matt and Abrar and I have sitting on the executive leadership team is we get to see everything the company is doing. And I want to reiterate what I said earlier today, which was a thank you to all of you, whether it be India or Turner International generally, for the contributions you all have made to the success of the company. And you heard earlier the company's been having tremendous success, not only over the 116 years, but certainly over the last 5 years in its growth and our focus on improving the company. And I want to reiterate that the efforts of the Turner International Group do not go unnoticed. And it's opportunities like these that Abrar has afforded Matt and I and others on the ELT to see that firsthand. And it's truly amazing to see. So I thank you for that. We all thank you for that, for your contributions. And we ask that you help us continue to grow, not only here, but across the international spectrum. And most importantly, improve how we do business, a lot of what we focused on today, so that not only the outcomes of quality and schedule and budget and safety and all those typical metrics improve, but also the experiences we provide our clients, and equally as important, the experiences you all have personally in executing the work that we do. So again, congratulations, and thank you very much for having me.
The growth of any company is dependent on the strength of the employees and the leadership. Turner has been fortunate in having exceptional and motivational leaders. Peter Dagrin, President and CEO of Turner Corporation, and Mr. Abrar Sharif, President and CEO of Turner International, along with senior executive leadership team, have been instrumental in shaping the company and developing leaders of the company. What makes leaders exceptional? How do they motivate the team? How have they pursued organizational growth with a purpose? And how can we dive deeper to run successful organizations and to know more? We have with us Mr. Prakash Iyer, eminent author, motivational speaker with us. I'll say a few words about him. Prakash is a best-selling author, leadership coach and motivational speaker, like I said. After spending nearly 3 decades in the corporate world, Prakash chose to step out to pursue his passions. He was until recently the managing director of Kimberly-Clark Weber in India. The earlier roles he held include managing director and CEO of Infomedia India Limited and executive director at PepsiCo. Prakash is an advisor to the Multiples Private Equity Fund and independent director on the board of Xerox India of the Mumbai Indians cricket franchise in their IPL title winning campaign in 2015. Passionate about cricket and people, Prakash speaks and writes extensively on motivation, leadership, storytelling, teamwork and brilliance. He has an MBA from IIM Ahmedabad and is the author of 2 best-selling books, The Habit of Winning and The Secret of Leadership. His 3rd book on Indian entrepreneurs, titled You Too Can, is out now. I would like to ask Mr. Prakash Iyer to step on the stage now.
Somebody said this earlier, but I'm truly delighted and in a sense privileged to be here as you celebrate your 10th anniversary. As a little kid growing up in Jaipur, I had a dream. I wanted to fly a kite. How many of you here have flown a kite? Yeah, okay, lots of us. So if you've flown a kite, you probably know this. The toughest thing about flying a kite is getting started. Once a kite is up in the air, anyone can fly it. As Jeffrey Boycott would say, even my mother-in-law can fly a kite if it's up in the air. So I think it's significant for us that for those of us who are here as new joinees, maybe a good time to perhaps look at those people who've been here before. And I'm wondering, how many of us in this room have been with Turner India for more than 5 years? Hands up, please. Can you stand up for a minute, if you don't mind? Stand up. Okay, here are the people who in a sense got up in the sky for all of us to fly. Let's have a round of applause. Thank you very much, and for the rest of us, I guess it's a great opportunity to say, what can we now do to take Turner to new heights? What can we do now to build this business out so that 10 years, 20 years, 50 years later, people will look at this business in India and say, you know, these are the people who helped build that business.
And what can we do as leaders that can make a difference? What can we do to build that Turner team here, which will actually help us to achieve all those goals? And the belief is simple. There's a leader inside each of us. And what we're going to do is to say, what does it take for us to unleash that leader within? Many of us can end up thinking, leadership is not for me. I'm not just a leader, I'll do my job, I'll do my bit and go away, but that's not true. Some of us might think, leadership, to be a leader, I need to acquire things or skills that are not really me, or I need to look outside to try and find those things that will make me a better leader. Probably not true. There is a leader inside each of us. There are strengths inside each of us, unique strengths. Who are the first guys who climbed Mount Everest? Hillary and Tenzin Norgay. Hillary and Tenzin Norgay. They are the first guys who climbed Mount Everest, and I'll take it. Sorry, thanks. She's quick. So before we get there, here's an interesting bit. It's not as if Hillary woke up one morning and said to Tenzin Norgay, come, let's go to Mount Everest. It took a lot of effort, took a lot of planning, and the story goes that Hillary tried several times to climb Mount Everest and failed. Tried, failed. Tried one more time, failed one more time. And apparently after one such failed mission, Hillary was standing at base camp looking up at Mount Everest, and he screamed, you Mount Everest, don't be so proud, I'll get you one day. I'll get you because you're only a mountain, you won't grow. I'm a human being, I'll grow. I'll get better. And maybe that's a good philosophy for all of us to have. A belief that no matter how difficult the problem might be, no matter how difficult the challenge ahead of us might be, you've got to back yourself to say, I can get better. And our success in the future will really be a function of this. Not about how good you are today, but about how you continue to get better. And maybe that's something that we've all got to be asking ourselves. What can I do every day to get just a bit better than I might have otherwise been? But that brings us to another interesting question. If two people, Hillary and Tenzin obviously climb Mount Everest, if two people want to climb a mountain, what do you think are some of the things they need? What do they need to climb a mountain? Coordination. It's a big one, and I'm guessing in your business too, that's pretty big. You need to coordinate, learn to work with each other. Coordination is important. What else do you need? Sorry? Commitment. I heard that. That's like the 7th time I'm hearing that word, great word. So you need commitment. What else do you need? You need courage. You need courage. And I think climbing a mountain can be tough. Okay? And I think you must have the courage to actually do that. You need trust. Trust is extremely important. And trying to work together, you need to trust each other. You can't be trying to climb a mountain, constantly looking back and saying, I hope you're not doing something to me. Yeah? So you need trust. What else you need? You need plan. Are you planning? No. Yeah. But you need a plan. And without a plan, you really won't get too far. Sorry? I like this. This is like a real practical person. You need resources to survive. All this plan, courage and all can come later. But if you don't have food and you don't have oxygen, what use is courage? So certainly you need basic resources. What else you need? Any other? Sorry? Equipment. Yep. Belief. You need belief. You need all of these. So the truth is, if you want to climb a mountain, you need all of these. You need a plan. You need resources. You need trust. You need commitment. But perhaps one of the most important things you need is the goddamn mountain. Okay? You need a mountain to get started. You need a goal that gets you excited. For many of us, we can often complain about the fact that we don't have the right equipment, or what do I do? There's not enough coordination between all of us, or our plan is flawed. Forget all of that. The first thing you need is a goal, a mountain that gets you excited. And therefore, maybe as all of you get started over here, good question to ask yourself: what's my mountain? What's my goal? And that could be a goal for Turner India, could be a goal for Turner, could be a goal for yourself. But you need a mountain. Once you have a mountain, everything else will start to fall in place. Okay? You'll have no equipment, but you get a call from an uncle who says, I've got some equipment lying in my garage, come take it. Once you have a mountain, you get up in the morning and find it's all cloudy, but you'll know if it's cloudy in the morning, it'll clear up by noon. Having that goal, having a mountain, can really be the first step to big things in your life. So find a mountain. What leaders do is actually something more interesting once they have a mountain. And I love the story of a lady who was walking on the streets in Milan. And she hears this noise, clack, 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 clack. And she sees this man out there and she says, excuse me, what are you doing here? And the man looks at her with that bored look. And he says, can't you see I'm breaking stones? So she goes further ahead. And as she walks a little bit further, she hears the same noise again. Clack, 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 clack. And she sees another man out there at work. And she asks him, excuse me, what are you doing here? He says, me? I'm helping to build the world's tallest cathedral. Two people doing exactly the same work. One person sees his role as breaking stones. The other person sees his role as helping to build the world's tallest cathedral. Question to ask yourselves, how do you see your roles? How do you see the roles of people who work with you? I think good leaders have this ability to excite their teams about the cathedral that they're trying to build. Are we saying we are one more construction company, or are we saying we are truly building the world's finest construction management company with technical expertise that nobody can match? Right? It's important for all of us to be able to share that goal, to share that vision with everybody else. And if you start treating your people as people who are helping to build this cathedral, they'll surprise you with what they can do for you. Treat them as stone breakers, and they'll come back and tell you, you have broken 7 stones, so what if they're not the size you wanted? Or they'll come back with doing just the little bit that they were supposed to do, rather than saying, how can I help this business achieve its goals? So what can we do as leaders? And what are some of the things that we might want to learn? And I'm going to try and share 4 or 5 lessons that we might want to take away. For the first lesson, I want you to fasten your seatbelts as we get on to US Airways Flight 1549. How many of you remember what happened to this plane? Some of you in the front row you. And for those of you at the back, if you don't know, you'll have to believe everything I tell you now. So here's what it is. Okay, US Airways Flight 1549 takes off from LaGuardia Airport in New York. It's a nice morning in January 2009. Okay, and it's taking off from LaGuardia Airport, New York. And as it often happens with these planes, the man in command is the co-pilot. Airport, it says we try and come back because the engines are failed. And they say, sure, come back, we clear the runways. And as he tries to turn, just imagine now, this plane is almost like a glider, low engine power. He quickly figures that he can't actually make that entire journey back to LaGuardia Airport. So he says, is there some other place we can go? And they see another little airport unused and say, maybe they should go there. And he tries to turn there. Imagine now what's happening. You're in a plane, 155 people above the city of New York. If that plane doesn't make it, not only will you kill all the 155 people on board, but you'll probably cause a lot of damage on the ground below. And that's when the Captain Sullenberger, takes a decision. He says, I can't make it to the other airport, but I can see the River Hudson flowing through New York. I'm going to land this plane in the water in New York. Okay? So here's this man, Captain Sully, a veteran of flying, 30 years experience, but yet he didn't know what to do up here, and he said, okay, let me try and land this plane in the water. Okay? And in what's now come to be known as the miracle on the Hudson, he actually lands this plane in the water. And all 155 people come out safe. What makes Captain Sully do this? What is it about some people that they manage to get it right? I think there are 2 or 3 lessons that all of us can learn from what Captain Sully might have done. Here's the first one. I think it's a great trait to have, which is learning agility, which is knowing what to do when you don't know what to do. You will find in your life that there's a lot that you've learned both in school and college and at work, and in your experience you will have had lots of experiences, but tomorrow's problem will probably be different. And yesterday's solutions may not always work for tomorrow's problems. And what learning agility does is allows you to build on that learning, to build on that experience, to find new solutions to new problems. And that's something that all of us might want to actually do. So become a learning agile leader. But the more interesting lesson, I think, for us comes out of two simple statements that Captain Sully makes. Okay? And I want to share those two with you. The first one is when the planes hit the birds. Who's the man in control? The co-pilot. Okay? And the minute both the engines go bust, they take ownership. So the minute there's a problem, the captain says, my aeroplane. That's the first one. I think as good leaders, learn to take charge. If there's a problem, if there's a crisis, you will find some of the greatest leaders were people who, when there was a problem, immediately come up front and say, okay, I'm responsible, I'll take care. And that's what good leaders do. The second sentence was, after all this is done and all 155 people are out and are safe, the TV crew and all the media guys want to interview the captain and say, what a great job you've done, Captain, you're a hero. And that's when Captain Sully says something else. He says, they did it. And he talks about his crew, and he says, it's not me, it's the team which did it. And he says, I didn't do it, they did it. So two sentences, two statements that good leaders learn to use and use often. The first, if there's a problem, you say, what do you say? So learn to say both these and ask yourself the question, just get the timing right. Become the kind of leader who takes charge, become the leader who takes ownership, and also be willing to give credit. Don't worry about taking credit. It'll come. Become the kind of leader who gives the credit to the rest of the team. And you'll find that it's your people. So what do you do when you finish an Uber ride? You rate the driver. What does the driver do? Rates us. Here's a little tip. Okay, 5 years from now, if you're looking for a job or a promotion in the company, good chance that they'll ask you, so what's your Uber score? Probably a good indicator of what kind of a person are you, what kind of a leader are you. So become the kind of person who respects all the other guys around. Okay? Here's another lesson, which is really simple. And to get you that lesson, I thought, imagine now that there's this garden here, and there are lots and lots of rabbits running around. All I have to do is to catch one rabbit. And so what do? I see that nice white rabbit there and say, let me try and catch it. So I run after the white rabbit, but the rabbit's quick. And I try and catch him, and I dive, and I fall, but I don't get the white rabbit. It's gone away. But even as the white rabbit's got away, I see a brown rabbit staring at me. And I suddenly remember, brown was always my favorite color. So now I say, let me catch the brown rabbit. So now I start running after the brown rabbit, but the brown rabbit is quick. And it's now getting away from me, and I'm trying to catch it, and I fall, and I dive, and I can't get the brown rabbit. But luckily for me, right next to me is a grey rabbit. And I remember reading in the newspapers in the morning today that grey is the color of the season. So now I decide, let me catch the grey rabbit. And this goes on and on and on. And by the end of the day, I'm a tired man, I'm sweating. I've really been working very hard. And how many rabbits have I caught? None. So I think it's pretty simple. If you want to catch a rabbit, this is what you do. Focus on one rabbit. Put it in your pocket. And then worry about the next rabbit. Learn to focus. Learn to finish tasks. Don't become the kind of person who is constantly busy doing lots of things. We are all busy. We all love multitasking. We all love matrix organizations where we have two bosses. Because when one boss says what's happening, you say, oh, I have so much work to do for the other guy. So don't get caught up in saying, I'm busy doing too many things. I have too much to do. Take one task, finish it. Take another, finish it. Take a third, finish it. Become the kind of leader who builds a reputation for someone who finishes, and not just someone who's got lots and lots to do. And simple. If you find you can't catch the rabbit, change your tactics. Change the way you go about catching the rabbit. Don't change your rabbit. Here's something else that might be of interest to us, and you might think I'm an animal lover now, but let's do a quick quiz, okay? You've got a tree, and on the tree are 3 monkeys, and below the tree is a pond, okay? So you've got a tree, you've got 3 monkeys on top and a pond below. And one of those monkeys decides to jump into the water. How many monkeys left on the tree? 3. None. Who said none? Got an answer there. Yeah, why none? They would all do the same thing. Yeah, this used to be the right answer until recently. And of course, Google said one man jumps, they'll all jump anyways. And monkey says, can't be a terribly smart thing to do. So how many left?
3.
Sorry? 3. Why 3?
3.
Why 3?
He just decided he didn't jump.
He just decided he didn't jump. These monkeys are like that. How many of us here have decided to lose weight? Yeah. And we're wondering why it's not happening. And they look at each other and say, oh, you decided 3 months ago, nothing. I decided 5 months ago. But it's still not working. Yeah? So maybe there's a message in it for all of us, which is success doesn't come because you decide to do something. It comes because you do it. And I think those Nike guys got it right. Become the kind of leader who says, just do it. Build a reputation for yourself and your teams as someone who's not constantly planning to do something, deciding to do something. Of a bunch of people who come together every year on the streets of our cities in this country, and magic happens. Okay? And before I tell you more about it, I just want to show you a quick video. It's maybe just 2 minutes, but we try and figure out. We try and see if we can learn some lessons on what does it take to really build a great team. This is the stage where you keep your fingers crossed and hope that the video plays. And the audio plays too, it doesn't. Audio up? Guys, excuse me? Audio? So you probably figured this is the Dahi Handi. Okay. Happens every year, and for some of us who may not be entirely familiar with it, let me give a quick background. It happens, it celebrates Lord Krishna's birthday. And Krishna as a little kid was very fond of butter, but his mom obviously saw too much on the internet that it's not good for his health, so she kind of hid it away from him in a pot high up above. And Krishna, smart boy that he was, would get his friends to form a pyramid so he could kind of steal the butter and have fun. And in a recreation of that event, what you now have is lots of cash in the pot. And you have a bunch of people, Govindas, who come together and try and break the pot and take the money home. And as you saw that, you probably saw how a group of people come together and a team starts to make its appearance. And I thought there's some lessons we might all learn on what does it take for us to build a great team. And I'm going to try and share 7 quick lessons that we could get from the Dahi Handi. Here's the first one. Okay. Make sure that you have one common goal and it's visible to the entire team. But it happens. So sometimes you'll find in organizations, everybody's focused on one goal, but one function or one department has decided that they want to do something else. That's a recipe for disaster. So make sure you have one common goal, visible to the entire team. Lesson number 2, trust. We've heard that word before today. Trust your teammates to do their jobs. The problem for most of us in organizations is, we are all very good at doing somebody else's job. So we are constantly fighting fault, constantly checking, constantly doubting what other people are doing. We all think we are the only ones who are interested in the welfare of our business, and no one else seems to care. Not true. Trust each other. Look at these people there. The guys at the bottom of that pyramid, their job is to just stand still, okay, and allow other people to climb up. They just stay there and allow people to climb up. After 2 minutes, they don't turn around and say, hey, how are you guys doing? Won't work. So learn to trust each other. Trust other parts of your business. Trust other people. And then you will find that more things will happen as far as your business is concerned. Lesson number 3, don't be scared to fail. They don't. They just learn from their mistakes and say, let me go back to trying again. Fail once more, try one more time. Learn from your failures. And as leaders, I think it's important for you to make it safe for your teams to fail. Don't create an environment where nobody wants to try anything new. Why? Because you're not sure if it'll work. Create an environment where people want to innovate, want to try something new. And it's okay to fail so long as you learn from those mistakes and get better. Lesson number 4. After they break the pot, the guy whose picture will appear in the papers the next day is the man at the top. But even he knows he's on top because somebody else has lent him their shoulders to stand on. Respect those shoulders. Become the kind of organization that respects its foot soldiers, that respects all those ordinary men and women who do the hard work which makes all of us then look good. Okay? So remember, respect those shoulders. Lesson number 5. It's a formula I want you to remember. A greater than R. Make your ambition greater than your resources. Okay? Most of us have a very poor view of our resources. We don't have enough people, we don't have enough resources, not enough money, not enough branding, not enough of whatever else that you might think of. Okay? But the truth is, magic happens when you set your ambition to be way bigger than what your resources might be. So aim high, dream big. Look at these guys, they're not even halfway to breaking the pot, but because they're dreaming high, they're aiming high, they will find that they're attracting resources. Another team will come along and say, let me help you do it. Somebody else will come and say, that's not the way to do it, you need to have a much wider base. People will help you because you're aiming high. For your business and for yourself, aim high. Make sure your A is greater than your R. Important lesson, have fun. Life is not just about breaking pots and making money. It's also about ensuring that you enjoy the ride. Look at these guys. So between one pot and the next, they are having fun. They're singing songs, wearing the same shirt, eating the same food, having fun. You've got to make sure that your teams have fun too. And that brings me to the last lesson from the Dahi Handi, which is really this. Look at these guys. They have done a great job to get as high as that, but they are just short of breaking the pot. What do they get? Nothing. In the Dahi Handi and in life, there are no prizes for almost getting there. So become the kind of team that values the commitment it makes, that wants to ensure that, look, if I have a target, I've got to get there. If I have set myself an objective, it's not enough to say, but we tried, but we did our best, but we came close. I think you want to push yourself to say, how do I make sure I get over the line? Think like sports teams. If you lost a football game by 1 goal or by 5, it doesn't matter. You still lost. So start thinking like a team that wants to win and wants to get over the line. Okay. I heard that word commitment several times today, and I thought that, before we finish, maybe it's an interesting one for us to try and consider on, on integrity. That's the other one that I thought I heard a few times, and I love that. And I thought, before we get to integrity, maybe a quick quiz question for us now. How many of you drive in this room? Okay, lots of people. And some of you sitting who are not residents in this country might find it a surprising question, but you just see some fun now. What do you do when you see a red light? Sorry? Stop. Now you got to say it loudly. Stop. I didn't hear it. Stop. That's right. We stop. When we see a red light, we stop. Right? When we see red light, we stop. Yeah, but we stop. But we all have seen these other people, sometimes who don't stop. So I'm thinking of what are those situations where people don't stop when they see a red light? What could be some situations where that happens? Emergency. I love that. Say it again. When we see other people do it, right? If other people are doing it, it's okay for us. In fact, we can even smile and laugh about it like you just done. But that's true. When else do you think it's okay to jump a red light? Emergency. Sorry? In an emergency. In an emergency. Right? Medical emergency, for instance. Right? Someone's dying in the car and you want to take him to the hospital. Why wait to get to the hospital? Let's kill him at the traffic light. Yeah, but that's something we might do. Yeah. What else? Emergency. When other people do it. I love this. And she says, when there's no policeman around. Yeah? So what do we do? Most of us who learn to drive, learn to look not for the traffic light, but for the cop. No cop, go for it. Any other situation? Any other situation? Late in the night, nobody there. Late in the night, middle of the night, and nobody there, so you say, now, good time to kind of just ignore the red light, right? Okay. You would never do. And for those of us who are joining this business today, I think it's good for us to remember that you don't need to do it. Okay? If you look back to your own childhood and someone told you that 10 years from now, 20 years from now, you'll be sitting in this room as a part of the Turner team, you'll take it. Okay? Your family is probably proud of what you've achieved. Your wife, your brother, sister, children, they're all proud of what you've achieved. So, if you had a chance to steal a few $1 million, would you do it? The answer is no. But it's surprising how a lot of intelligent people end up doing stupid things. I'm thinking now of that man who I used to think was a great hero for me. He was born to parents who were teachers in Allahabad, went to study at one of the better institutes of technology in Delhi, went to Harvard, okay, and then went on to work for the world's largest consulting business, and then went on to found a business school in India, became global CEO for the world's largest consulting business. His name was Rajat Gupta. And after that, where he went? Jail. And I often wonder, why do smart, intelligent people end up doing stupid things? Okay? I think the answer might lie in what we do when we see the traffic light. Okay? If you start thinking that it's okay to do it because everybody is doing it, you're in trouble. If you start thinking it's okay to do it if the policeman is not watching, maybe it's not a good idea. It's like saying that, would you steal a few $1 million? The answer is no. But what if the CFO is not looking? Would you do it? No. What if everybody is doing it? Would you do it? No. What if it's an emergency? Would you do it? No. What if it's middle of the night, no one around? No. The answer is no. Okay? And I think maybe a good lesson for all of us to say, stop when you see the light is red. Don't rationalize. It's okay, it's an exception, it's all right, everybody's doing it. Don't make exceptions. Become the kind of person who says, pretty clear, if the light is red, you stop. No questions asked. Okay? And somebody said this right. He said, it's easier to hold to your principles 100% of the time than it is to hold to them 95% of the time. Most of us think, 95% I can do, 100 is difficult. The problem with 95 is it very quickly becomes 90, and then 85. 80, 75, 70, 60, and before you know it, you're breaking the rule all the time. So if you're the kind of person who says, it's okay to jump the light in the middle of the night, you'll suddenly find that at 10 o'clock, you'll say, oh my goodness, winter, it feels like midnight. And then at 8 o'clock, it's a tea bag. Okay? And it's a tea bag, and I think it can teach us all the lessons we might want to learn or remember about what it means to be a good leader. Now some of you must be wondering, how can a tea bag teach me what leadership is all about? But it's an interesting story. And I don't know if you know how a tea bag was born. The first tea bag, I believe there was a tea merchant called Thomas Sullivan in London, and he had some new tea and he wanted to send it to his friends around the world to sample. So he kind of took these silk pouches, put the tea inside, tied them up nicely, and sent them to his friends. And the friends, of course, untied it, opened it, put the tea into the water, and said, wow, great tea. One lazy chap didn't do all of that. He just took the pouch as it was and dumped it in the water, and it worked. And that's how the first tea bag was born. And the reason I'm saying this is, some of us young people here might think, wow, what a bright idea, I'm so smart. Sometimes just an accident. Don't worry too much about it. So here then are some lessons that we might want to learn from the tea bag. Here's the first one. Okay? Leaders are like tea bags. It's only when you put them in hot water that you'll know how strong they really are. They look at hot water and say, wow, here's my chance to show what a good tea bag I am. And that's really what you should do as leaders. Lesson number 2. There's no rule which says that a tea bag can only work at the top of the cup. A tea bag can be anywhere in the cup and it will work. Many of us will think of leaders and say, that guy at the top. Okay? That's not true. You've got to look at yourself as a leader. Don't try and say, when I become a leader, then I will show you what I can do. Show us now. Do it now. You have a chance to make a difference right where you are. Remember, it's not just the guy at the top. Lesson number 3. Tea bags have to be porous. You might have the best tea inside this bag, but if the bag is not porous, it won't work. If the bag doesn't allow the water to come in contact with the tea inside, it ain't gonna work. And some of us might think we have all the answers. We have lots of knowledge. We know how it's done, but we don't share it with our teams. Some of us don't communicate with our teams. We don't try and relate to everybody else. We don't allow other people to try and discover what we're all about. So become the kind of leader who makes sure that your bag is porous. Okay? Allow other people who work with you to come in contact with who you are, what you do. Try and share all the information and knowledge that you might have. That's what good tea bags would do. Lesson number 4. Sometimes one tea bag is not enough. The cup is so large that you need a second tea bag. Good leaders learn to work with other leaders. There are no prizes for saying I was alone and I was doing it myself. Become the kind of tea bag which welcomes the other tea bag into the cup and says, come help me, because together we can create a great cup of tea. And that's really what it's all about. How do we ensure we deliver great results? By partnering with other people. Lesson number 5. Okay. You might be the world's best tea bag, but somebody else can choose to yank you out whenever they feel like it. Okay. It's good to remain humble about who you are. As a leader, don't start thinking that you're the one who makes the world go round. Okay. You remember, you are answerable. You could be answerable to a customer, to an employee, to God, to family, to board, to bosses, but you're answerable. Just knowing that you're answerable will make sure that you retain your sense of humility and you don't start thinking that you can do whatever you please. Okay? Never let that feeling get in. Remember that someone else pulls the string at all times. Lesson number 6. It's about how good the tea is and not how good the tea bag was. No one ever drank a cup of tea and said, wow, that was a great tea bag. They would say, it was good tea. Great leaders will get recognized not for being great leaders, but for having built great teams. You want to be recognized not for who you are, but for what you did. You want to be seen as someone who made a difference to the people you worked with, to the organization you helped create, to the team that you helped build. That's got to be the focus. So don't try and get the spotlight to be on yourself, but try and turn the spotlight around to say, how do I ensure that I touch the people I've worked with? I make a difference to the people that I've worked with. Remember, nobody's ever going to take a sip of the tea and say, wow, that was a great tea bag. Never happened, never will. And that brings me to the last lesson. Eventually, tea bags need to make way and get out. You're going to try and remember some of the lessons and say, maybe there's a lesson here for all of us. Thank you so much for being such a
Thank you, Prakash. That was truly inspirational and motivation. It really aligned with the core values of our company: teamwork, integrity, and commitment. And the examples that you gave are perfect. I think Captain Sully and the Dahi Handi and tea bag, very, very powerful message. All right? I think, thank you so much for this inspirational speech. And everyone, please, when you step out of this room, I know you're going to have cocktails and dinner, please respect the red lights, okay? Very important. We just have a small...
Thank you very much.
Now, a single capsule on what leadership is all about. Exciting? Great? Okay. So I'd like to thank the team who has been relentlessly working over the past 2-3 weeks in making this happen. I think if I don't do that, I don't think it's, all the lessons that he just told. I would like to first thank Raki. Can you please? And she's been busy ever since, and I think they worked as a team together. They've done a fantastic job here. Sanjeev Pandey, Charlie, Shruti, Avinash, the name goes on. I'm telling you, it's been a perfect teamwork. I'm telling you. Ever since we said that we're going to host the new hires, and it was all excitement. Just said we're going to do it better than how we did in 2015, and we need to make sure that as we say here in Sanskrit, Atiti Devo Bhava. So we need to make sure that the guests are treated properly, and we make sure that the event happens very well. So it's been an extremely great day one. I thank you all for joining us. I thank the client's team, Mr. Bhaskar Rao being here. I'm not going to stand long between the cocktails and dinner. I know we are already late. So thank you so much.